Hello and welcome everyone. Sado speaking. We're here to see the game of Man uh, tournament, apart from the league, of course, that is being organized for Knights in this year. Forgot about something. There was, of course, a fight tournament which is already finished. Maybe I'll take to speak about it. Anyway, we are about to see Zoltan and General F. Big Bang COVID or the Big Bang. Know him. But this will still probably take a few seconds. I will talk about the tournament rules a bit well in a second, but the it is that the rules say I have to stream with 10 minutes, and the locations are chosen by flight map game first, which is a really nice little thing. Nobody thought about this before, I think, and this is a solution, and it gives us something. And from what I remember, I'll verify this. I think they are later going to be playing mid, pretty challenging match. It's not so like nice. Anyway, since we're still waiting for the players to join, I will use the time to make very advertising and myself to start streaming the game. And as soon as they start playing, I'll be back to comment. Stay with us here. Uh, Player. Uh, I believe the game go back around 22, unless the fourth player.
Channel switched. 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 Hey, wake up.
It's 20 minutes. Guessing General will be back 20 minutes. So I think the tournament okay, F is so the rules can wait. So like I said, they play and can collect. Take a look at team. Location speaking by a random 2v2 single match on so the teams you can see BigBang COVID and Rinhamus versus and the fight here will determine who wins. But, I really enjoyed the decision of Mandel tournament's organizer to introduce a measure to figure out who can take the locations, because usually in the tournaments it was quite random. Sometimes better players could choose the locations. For example, there were many approaches to that, but the best one whoever wins the fight can choose which slowly as usual. Up. Obviously, it's kind of a different fighting than in normal maps because, as usual, much more open and much more direct. Usually on normal maps you will be hiding behind some obstacles for some time or making some more tactical maneuver. Usually just of pushing and then body should. Seems like Rinhamus lost a few of his crossbow. Much action on the right side. And we've got the first catch, so everyone was. There we go, the horses on the right, left side. Looks pretty even, but for now my mon is on Rinhamus. I'm actually not sure about it because was left. Strange things happening on the right side where the shoot. Seems like the bottom right team decided to put all their money on the left side, but it doesn't seem like it will help them. It's very likely that let's hold off with that because indeed ZOLTAN and F managed to get the soldiers left. There's still a big patch of barbarians on the right side from but will it be enough? I think I think getting killed. His crossbow's killed. Bit interesting. Yeah, you can see he's about to die because he has no shooter support now. So these horses from ZOLTAN have really made a difference. Yeah, it seems like one. So they have the bald guy from Brothers to those. Like it's a bit difficult to get a compressor these days, so that's the idea behind my new look. Poradi. So right to pick locations. The main game. I think it's a good time to look at So in the post, so basically, I think there's 25 teams, unless here's the bracket. Let's have it updated. By the way, on the address, the address probably, but chalongi.com come to 2020. You can see you can also vote if you have an account on this site. So far it seems that most of the players are betting that Rinhamus and BigBang in this game. Only 20% of the voters. The opposite is gonna happen. The empty slots are just because there's less than 32 contestants or teams, but the organizers still wanted to give a chance to the other teams, so there's 7 teams which don't have to play the first round. It was chosen okay, a couple of minutes before the we can the rules. As usual in the tournament organized by TeamSpeak people, it's 60 peacetime, 1.5 in peacetime, and speed after peacetime. Some breaks are allowed, as you can see. You can have 10 towers in team. Locations were picked right now, as you could see, by a fight map called Cross. And I guess there's like one game in every stage except for the final. Best of 3 games. Well, break the rules. Well, break the rules. There's some timetables here. So the next round will be played on rebound. The third round on no. Yeah, there's the only specs can be and the tournament starts today. The first game from I think it is. What I can count. Stuff. There was one very interesting game here. Yeah, Delta Raketa versus Longer. Probably looking at most of these games, you have a clear favorite team in the pairs, but this one is a mystery because Destiny and Raketa were real monsters. I even think they might have won one of the tournaments before, and they were definitely best of the best from Russian, like this game's history. But they didn't play since a while, and I can't know if they will be up usual level. While Longer, he also didn't play for a while, but I think he's playing since a month or two. Sokol is in pretty good shape. You can see in games, for example, he tends to many of these. So this is probably the most interesting game I'd like to see from the first round. As for the there's plenty of games where it's hard to win actually. The only game I'm pretty sure of the result is probably this one because Kungen S are biggest spammers, and even if Mitras and Bala are pretty decent pair, I think it might be quite difficult for them. Not without chances, but probably they would need a bit of luck in the fight, or the Kungen and S should have some less usual, and then the team's chance. They still didn't start because some of the players are, I think, and well, we'll if anyone cares, because I see some chat in Polish. I'm not to anyone. Okay, as BigBang is back. Let's call him COVID. Some people got some. Yes. I really up in a while. I barely remember. Maybe not a lot of space on the locations, but I have plenty of time right now to check out the map. I think interesting happens. So we can see on the top left side ZOLTAN, on bottom right Rinhamus and BigBang, and okay, it's interesting. So I think I had the same, but okay, I will need a second. A problem with Twitch. I really don't want to start the stream again. But there's one thing I can do. Thankfully, I use proxy side. Uh, Start. Ah, damn it. I'll just there's some. Yeah, I think there's one with Twitch. I see some people. Yeah, I don't think there's much I can do about it right now. So I'll just update the links quick and get back to what happens in the game, and you can look at this. Uh, just need to update the link. Doesn't seem like I can. Okay, I made the microphone. Okay, so now I can take a look at. Sorry about this. It's probably the first time I have, and surprised by this. Anyway, we still have YouTube, so we can go on, thankfully. And we're looking at points right. Quad is only. Let's see how teammate. Making second cutter, third quaddy, and for the goal. Not quite sure what's the better decision here. See, there's kind of plenty of wood, but it's not that easy to get there. You can make a road here, I believe. Shaky. He'll probably have to do that anyway because there's not a lot of wood in the close proximity. Here, kind of the same. I'd say that the wood I've seen on but yeah, the distances are really insane on this map. It reminds border defense. Pretty interesting to see what especially given that all of the games are played on midwinter's day in of the tournament. I'm pretty confident to say that there will legs and the base will not be as good as. Of course, you can make nice farms because there's a lot of space here. At least let me see if I'm right. But yeah, the snow on every log seems to be the one that you can make farms or the so that kind of snow you can definitely have farms. This log seems it's kind of not a I guess. Yeah, it kind of reminds of this log, the counterpart. So we probably should expect Rinhamus and General F to spam ladder and ZOLTAN and BigBang to have iron focus maybe. At least 5, maybe 6 iron mines. No, actually there are 2 here. 4 overall. Or 5. I would have to check the editor. Here. If you to me. Trying to take a track of the Twitch chat as well. Of course, I'm at disadvantage because of the delay, but I'll try to answer the on chat, even if it's late. To those that may be interested with the new version of the remake, I think nice. Okay, I forgot this English word. So let's just say that pretty. I think most of the bugs are gone, apart from small problems with replays. So sometimes you can't play a replay if there was, for example, if people in the lobby clicked on lobby and that's how we played a game on beta today. Had a little problem problem, but there seems to be no gameplay problems. Wonderful news, because a lot of bugs that and fix. Hard to say about when the new beta version might become remake, but that Win seems to be back, which is a new a bit, and he seems to be helping. So there might become a see the whole 12 players, very good AI, which can basically, well, it's on level of a average human player, or maybe even good human player, depending on what you mean. It's definitely good enough to play these people in this game. Maybe not win against them, but at least have some troops, and doesn't look too bad when you put it players. Anyway, going back to this game, it doesn't look really good regarding wood action for Zoltan. Let's take a look at the other player woodcutters here. I'm sorry. Seems like I need some coffee. We'll do the but this shortcut is okay, but he's making this road here, so it's gonna be fine. Interesting road, by the way. Also woodcutters, it's a bit better. I'd say all the players here are a bit regarding. I think has his demon. Pretty interesting way to go towards this forest here. The buildings here are strange, but not the bad idea. I would probably make another farm, but I'm afraid he might not have that, and he might be keeping important buildings. So yeah, so far Rinhamus's build looks more or less the best, unless BigBang say, and indeed 4 woodcutters. This probably started working now. Okay, well, definitely need some. This is while the idea of the map reminds me a bit of Border Rivers, it also reminds me even more of another map from the same out, Dead of Winter. were similar. Not extreme actually. Oh, okay, depending on the lock, it was sometimes pretty bad, pretty far away. For example, I think the main difference was that on the Dead of Winter map, you had usually you had one of the crucial resources pretty far away, and here you pretty much resources far away. So seems like a challenging map. I'm really curious to see what happens and what kind of I think I can't disable without stopping the stream the maybe it will. Oh, okay, it will work. Okay, so hopefully that's better. Uh, there's a lot of chat activity. I think I should probably focus on the game instead. Let's take a look at the top side. I don't know. It looks a bit empty here. Something is off. I think the number of serves here is pretty bad. Ooh. 25 serves? Really? Something must have gone horribly wrong. Oh yeah, the distances are killing him, that's for sure. And it looks really bad right now already. It's a pretty rare sight to be able to say that someone will have a very bad game so early on, but you can see 27 serves. It wouldn't even work on beta, I think, with the improved serve movement. Okay. You can see that it's not a problem about not having enough stuff to make the gold, but the buildings are simply so far away that there's a problem. Okay, but there's a lot of gold here. So maybe the problem was worse. Nah, that can't be possible because he had amount of gold that you can. Okay, I think this is a new building. He made this gold smelter very late. That's probably it. Because the timings don't make sense otherwise. Okay, we'll see if he will somehow fix this. Yeah, you can see now they are started moving in. I was a bit curious, how could that not work? Because I believe that one of the top priorities for serfs in the Knights and Merchants remake is to bring gold. So it was kind of weird that this building was almost empty, but I'm guessing that it was just built in last few minutes, and the serfs were probably doing something else, like stocking up food in inn. That this was the problem of the gold production. But like you can see, there's some gold. The school is operating, so I guess even if it's a bit late, because at that moment you should probably have more like 50 and not like 30 serves. He'll be catching up right now. Yeah, you can see here 47 serves and a lot more activity here in the base of F. Let's actually try to compare it to what happens on the bottom. I think COVID. Yeah, but these logs are supposed to correspond to each other, and I believe that it's not an accident that both of these players have similar amount of stuff of serves. Okay, this is not a similar amount. I'm sorry. I thought by this time Zoltan would have 40 serves. It doesn't seem like he's doing something in school all the time though. So this might be simply a player mistake. This is very bad. At this point, I would consider making a second school, even if it's a bit early. He really has to catch up the amount of serves, and on a map like this, it is really crucial thing to have a lot of serves because you can see that distances are pretty bad, pretty big, and right now it doesn't look too good. Okay. Seems like there's gonna be a little break. Probably a small kid. Okay, so this gives us some time to read the chat. Okay. It's a real shame with Twitch, but that's outside of my scope. I can't do anything about Twitch because it just doesn't seem to work for me. I could probably try to restart the stream, but with the delay, we would lose 10 minutes of gameplay either way. I could try now because they're in lobby, but I don't know how much time it will take to COVID. I don't really want to restart the stream with delay right now. Don't really have a better idea. So I guess we'll have to make do with having no Twitch this time. Sorry. See, that's why I like to use the button for the push to talk button. I must admit I didn't do anything about the auto patcher thing. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Microphone, okay, microphone problems again. Yeah, okay, let's see. How about. Okay, this should be better. Or maybe not. How about now? Okay, I think it's tricky. I don't want to make it too silent. Okay, we'll leave it like here. Make a shot test. Make a shot test. Okay. Well, I can make it. I can't make it louder without sacrificing the quality. So I'll just. Okay, I think I'll make it like this. Anyway, seems like they're back. Okay, let's disable without stopping the stream. The okay, I think I understand what you mean with cutting out. Maybe there was something wrong with my button. Yeah, I fixed it a few minutes ago. I'll just write on the chat because remember about 10-minute delay. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so it was not a volume problem, which means I can talk louder. Okay, I'll try talking louder then, and hopefully it doesn't cut me out. Okay, I'll try to do that. Very quick 1, 2, 3. For that. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it seems to work. Well, maybe it's a problem with the microphone itself. Anyway, let's take another look at what happens in the cities. Zoltan. There's not a lot of buildings here, so I'm pretty much afraid for the top team because of his performance here. It's a tricky map, and like I said, it was pretty obvious not everyone will have a great game on this map. Hopefully General F can make up for it. It's not like it looks great here either, but there's no iron, for example, although iron's pretty far away for him. Let's try to compare it to what happens on the bottom. Seems... I'd say that BigBang is dealing better, definitely, with his problems. He has some problems, but you can see his... he has quite some movement in the base, and more cells for sure, more buildings. Yeah, looks way better here compared to Zoltan. And let's try to compare the other two bases, Rinhamus versus F. The iron production could be better for both players. Still, yeah, it's kinda similar. It's shame we're not playing this on beta version because we could see some nice stats, and now instead I have to just click on the players and see what kind of buildings they have and what kind of they don't. I can't really see much difference in what they have. A bit more coal mines for the blue player, but otherwise one more farm, but I believe those two were built quite recently, so Rinhamus looks a bit better here because all these farms are, except this one of course, which is also new, the fifth one, yeah, they look better. Okay, how much time? 22 minutes. Gotta say that the armies will probably not be too great. I think Rinhamus is going well ahead when it comes to the players we see here in this game today. We'll see how General F is behind him, because I think it's hard to say. Hard to find a mistake in Rinhamus's base. He has pretty much everything he should have on such a location by now, making stables even. So I think his army will be quite alright, and with BigBang City, while it looks less impressive because of the location, which is a bit more difficult. You can also see that he's trying to keep the timings tight, and he more or less does the job. Has the bare minimum for farms working kinda good, pretty well. Keeps making. Where's the other iron? On the left side. Ooh, it's pretty far. One thing which really annoys me when I'm playing KaM is when you have to build like this, especially around a mountain, but there's no other way because, I mean, there kind of is. I'm wondering why he didn't try to go here. Maybe it's a bit more maybe it's a bit further away, but he'd also have to go here anyway to start his iron production because of the coal mines and gold, obviously. So, I don't exactly understand why he can't here, unless the forests maybe were on the right side, in which case yeah, that was probably a good decision to go here. It's also a bit funny how it looks here, because you can see that usually people will try to make something more like this. Not exactly. Okay, there's not a great example of what I mean, but it's pretty strange to see so much unoccupied space just near the storehouse. But I think it's well, especially on a lock like this, it's a good thing. But obviously, he moved the heaviness of his base, the core, to the left side. Left the only buildings that he had to make on the right were the ones that take a lot of space, which means woodcutters and farms. So most of serve movement, at least theoretically, will be on the left side, which is probably good for keeping the distances short. Obviously, you can't do much about zombies and the weapon makers, so they're just on the right side. I think it's not the worst planning here, but I'd have to see the location, the editor again, to be extra sure, because sometimes well, I mean, it depends on the location of the forests. I still think it's quite alright what we see here. Speaking of quite alright, I really hope I could say the same about ZOLTAN's performance today, but okay, he has 4 Iron Mines, interesting. And 2 farms, okay, very interesting strategy. Seems like he goes for less is more, and tries to go for double iron. I think his iron is a bit too weak for that. How many iron smithies? 3. Okay, that's not too bad. There's not a lot of time to pull this off, but okay, the barracks still not ready. Damn it. Okay, could look better, but sorry. It's definitely not the worst idea when you're having huge problems, especially with amount of serfs, for example. It's not the worst idea to try and focus on iron only, because it will make the base a bit smaller. You can make pretty stable food production. Yeah, it doesn't look too bad. Might need a second in soon, but otherwise I think he would be fine regarding food production at least. Not so sure about... Okay, there's some fish here, that's not bad. I'm not so sure about the amount of troops though, because there's 15 minutes left. He has about 10 something. Okay, someone here. I don't know, I can't really count how many crossbows he will have. So 15 minutes, having about 10. He's probably aiming for something like 25 swordmen and maybe 20 crossbows, but I don't know if he can make 20. That's probably... yeah, that should be possible. Might need one more weapon smithy, but he can pull it off. But that's not a great army, to be honest, and it doesn't seem like he intends to have any horses unless the horses will be made using this little building on the left here. Let's see his teammate who chosen a bit easier lock, it seems. General F. Iron production seems pretty much complete, and I'm not sure if he can make an extra iron miner. Seems so. Let me see the other... okay, he still doesn't have the 4th one, but yeah, I'm pretty sure he can make one more here as well. A funny thing about this game, I mean the game in general, not this particular game, about funny thing about Knights and Merchants is that when you have such a big location and you can make a really big base, you will have to make it as small as possible anyway, because in 60 minutes there's no time for more than 8 or maybe 10 farms at most. Unless you don't care about the amount of stuff in your barracks at the end of the peacetime, obviously, because you can make better farms at the cost of having a lesser peacetime army. Still, this is a trade-off that nobody wants, probably, so 6 farms are the standard, I guess. Some people making a few more, some making a few less, depending on the strategy, but sorry. But obviously the tactic F is going for is the classic 3 piggies and and 1 stables. Let me see if it has any meals. Nope. And still needs the third piggy, obviously. Probably waiting for. Actually, I don't know what he's waiting for, because that's not a bad moment to make another building. Although it doesn't look like the farms are very efficient right now. So, whoa! Look at the amount of wood here. Okay. Time to check the chat again, because pretty soon we'll have to sum up what happens here. Bots are saying that this is a very bad map for tournament game. Depends on what you mean, because uh, if you want a challenging map that will make people make mistakes and make the results unpredictable, from the point of obviously from the point of us watching the game, it's better if they make more mistakes and something interesting happens. Of course, not too many, because if it's instant GG on a peacetime, then nobody wants to watch such a game. But I'm digressing a bit. But yeah, if it's gonna be like you go to non-challenging map, something totally spammy, and then everyone has army, and then they just stand in one place and nothing happens, then it's also not good. But well, I think it's more about the players and less about the map. Uh, Still, I'm quite happy that this map was chosen. I wouldn't want to play it in the tournament, obviously, but it can show you, like, if you can't make a mistake, if you're too good to make mistakes, then this map will not kill you. And well, in the other case, that's your problem, I guess. The next maps are kind of hard, kind of not. I mean, Rebound is such a map where you can, if you forget about food, it's pretty bad, but it's definitely easier than Midwinter's Day, because it's so spammy. Like, if you care, if you just don't forget about food, you can have a lot of troops on this map. Just not a lot of horses, because that's a bit harder. Eruption is obviously one of the spammy maps, and I don't remember the Guno, which is a shame to admit, because this is one of the most popular maps these days. I just didn't play it in quite a while, so I can't say much about it. And by the way, it's possible that the audio will be a bit delayed after the camera, because it's not a perfect technology. So I can't do much about it. I'm actually using my mobile phone to give you the video, because I don't own my own webcam. Maybe it's time to change that, actually. I'll try to think about it. Okay, for the fans of my hands, you can take a close look. But yeah, like I said, I'd have to get a proper camera, probably. Anyway, I think we're starting to get towards the peacetime, and this might be a good time to take a last long look at these locations and what happens here. Okay, seems like the top team actually looks pretty nice, what I see here in Zoltan's base, as opposed to what I expected, except two things: weapons and recruits. I think in 5 minutes. Oof, these schools. Interesting, but where's the third metallurgist? Nowhere. I don't really understand it then. I mean, it's all nice and fine, but it's not gonna work. I think one of these schools was supposed to be a gold smelter. What a real shame. I mean, maybe not actually, because I can't really see him making a gold mine either. Yeah, I don't really understand the logic here. Maybe he tends to forget about making recruits. That's a sickness I know everything about. So that's why he has the 3 schools. Um, yeah, like I said, not a lot of recruits, which he can probably fix fast, and not a lot of weapons, and I see a problem with that. I mean, he has some resources here, so probably he has enough coal mines, I think. So he has enough serfs, which he has, I think. He might have a chance to catch up, but he needs a few minutes. And most important thing, he didn't think about making any horses, even for scouting, which is a damn shame. Uh, but while it's not a bad army, I think it might not be enough in this fight. Would look definitely way better if he had the weapons. We'll see how's that. Okay, they want to vote. Interesting. Oh, so maybe let's stop for a while. What? Okay, maybe he thought it was peacetime. Okay, so there's 3 minutes. Maybe let's take a look before we take a look at the other teammate. Let's take a look at BigBang, because he's supposed to play a similar location. He's gone for the classic build. Just a few horses, not a lot of leather, which is quite a shame. Still has not enough iron weapons, also pretty interesting. And I think Zoltan's weapon smithies look a bit more full. Regarding iron smithies, I believe it's a similar situation. Yep, so I'm afraid that BigBang's iron could be a bit better. Mm. Mm. Which is a little surprised, but still, I don't know which of these players I would rather fight. I mean, which of these armies I would rather fight with, because there's some horses here, while Zoltan has none. Uh, Still, this is pretty powerful. Okay, another thing interesting here is that he's making hand axes, a lot of them, but he has completely no chance to make enough gold chests to train all of his iron, let alone also militia. So this is pretty pointless. But okay, there's 1 minute left, so let's take a very quick look at Rinhamus. The iron could be a bit better, and there's not a lot of weapons, but pretty nice leather armors count, and 4 horses. Okay, I'm a bit disappointed in the iron, but other than that, I think it's kind of fine. Uh, and definitely better than what we see here. But it's on peacetime it won't matter much because these armies are pretty similar. Okay, maybe I'm exaggerating a bit. Rinhamus has way better leather production and not too much worse horses, while F has a bit more weapons, which is insignificant in the long term. One last look at Zoltan and BigBang. They still go for peacetime pose. I honestly don't know what to expect right now. I kind of feel like the bottom will win, but the army is a bit better on the bottom, but not by far. And it depends, because I've also seen some problems in BigBang's base regarding making enough iron weapons. So it's kinda it can kinda go both ways regarding who has more and who has less. And regarding the fighting skills, I have completely no idea what will happen here, because I've only seen BigBang play once. I mean, I've played. I think I streamed a game with him before. I saw Rinhamus a couple of times, and I'm pretty sure he'll be one of better fighters in this game. But ZOLTAN also plays a lot of fighting maps, and maybe he has some aces up his sleeves. I can't say anything at all about General F. I only know the player by name, and that's it, I'm afraid. So can't really tell you much about it. Okay. I guess we have to wait for a minute or two, and we'll be able to start again after peacetime. Yeah, peacetime 90 seems more suitable for this map. Actually, yeah, I can agree with this. Maybe 75, okay. Depends on the skill level, I guess. Anyway, it's pretty nice to see 31 people watching. I know this is a special time. Uh, but still, with Twitch not working at all, I'd say this is still pretty nice. It's a real shame, but I'm pretty sure in next days we'll have a couple of games again, and we'll be able to stream to Twitch as well. So nothing is lost, I guess. Uh, I think if there's another game today, it's a bit late, but I could probably still stream one more. Then I'll just restart and see if Twitch works again. And for now, I guess we'll have to live with YouTube only. Okay, in the meantime, I think we can take a look at the upcoming games. In the first round, we have Kungan S versus Mitelas Baratheon, Wilson JS or JavaScript versus Hydra and Simke. Well, next game we're watching right now, obviously. Abiab and Black Pearl versus Pop. Okay, this one's gonna be hard. Babzaki, whatever, and Drakir. Oh. The Dutch guys are probably having the time of their lives hearing me trying to read this crap, but whatever. Lexus and Hagon, two old players from Czech Republic. Nice to see them back. Versus Donati and Sean. Dima and Stocky versus To and Fu. That's also a nice comeback, by the way. I don't remember last time the brothers from Netherlands were playing together in a tournament, so I'm definitely gonna watch that game. Desti and Rakieta versus Longer and Sokol. Like I said, most interesting game for me. Uh, Skeletal Regis versus Red and Cronus. Might be pretty interesting game as well because I think Regis and Skelly should win this one, but the Russians can make some spam as well, so it can be interesting game to watch. And all Russian, at least almost all Russian a game with Shady and Mercenary, a veteran of Russian community, versus Bolt and Holodziec, or Soilodel, as the West calls him. Uh, 3 Russians and 1 Belarusian guy. Should be, I think it might be pretty even. I don't know who I'd say can have a better chance for winning, but I would also love to watch this game when it happens. And you can be sure that we'll cover, at least I'll cover as many games as possible. Most likely everything on the weekends that I can take a hold of. But yeah, getting back to the game, which is about to start right now, I guess, with all the players ready. Okay, let me get some stuff to drink, as I surely need it. Ah, sweet sugar. For those that don't know, sugar is my kind of drug. Thankfully, can't really see that. Probably. I guess I'm gonna regret it in 10 or 20 years. I know it's not funny, but can't resist. Okay, can we see everything here? Yeah, except my face. Okay, it's my very sophisticated setup has some problems once in a while. Anyway, last look for the chat. Okay, Vieto wants me to give a shout out for Napek, so that's what I'm doing right now, I guess. Okay. We're almost there. Anyway, I'd say that rules about break, because it's annoying to wait for too much time, and some people could use that as a leverage against the enemy to distract them and make them angry for waiting. But I think 5 minute limit is a bit too few. Anyway, let's see the scouting. You can see Zoltan doesn't have horses, so he has to resort to using militias for scouting. And the right side, on the bottom side actually, doesn't have that problem, it seems. Still, it's a pretty big map, so I'm guessing that it's not that important to have horses here, maybe, unless you can secure your scouting very fast with army guarding this entrance, for example. Mm. As for the fighting space here, hard for me to say because I'm not familiar with it. But from what I look at it right now, can be pretty interesting. But uh, probably this is gonna be the main front. There's not a lot of sense for going around anywhere here because of a very long distance that you'd have to work. Even with horses, it's pretty far, and you would be instantly noticed. So I'm guessing that if the both armies block off here, it's gonna look a bit like they were playing New Horizon, for example. You just block off the middle and wait for the troops to start dying out of hunger before you attack. So I have my doubts if this will be a nice fight, but we'll see. Maybe if someone tries to make another front, maybe go here for example, this could be a nice idea indeed. How much do they see? More and more. Ooh. Okay, I don't really get it why he can't hear, but he has pretty clear way to go to the kinda clear way, I'd say, but yeah. He still sees something. It doesn't look like a great army, so they probably know that that the enemy doesn't have much, but neither do they. Or maybe, yeah, okay, that's not a bad army for this map, I guess. It would be interesting to see Rinhamus take initiative and go here. I think could be a good idea. Of course, if the top plays it clever, then they can go 2 versus 1 on one of the players, but it's not going to be that easy probably to play it off. Oh, look at this. A lot of leather troops here. And not a lot of shooters on top. This looks really bad. I don't know why they don't try to scout a bit more. Anyway, excellent scouting from the top side. You can see what they can see, and they can see a lot. Of course, they're not going to attack because that would be a suicide unless they do it right. Maybe, for example, they would try to get one of the players in a 2 versus 1 situation, but anything they would try to do can be tricky. So I'm hoping on the bottom side to take the initiative, but I don't know. Doesn't seem like they feel confident, but given the troops, they kinda should. I mean, BigBang doesn't have a lot of iron, but that's the fault of his location, I'd say. You can see these armies look a bit like taken from 2014 lobbies or something. I mean, it's pretty nice. Like I said, it's pretty refreshing to see this map because the amounts of troops are a bit lower and well, I'd like to say that it's not going to be a simple bowman shootout as always, but it's actually even more of a bowman game than usual because the amount of melee is very low here. And there's a lot of shooters, as you can see. I mean, okay, maybe I exaggerated because Rinhamus shown that you can have a lot of melee, a lot of leather melee as well, but the iron troops also seem pretty nice. On par with what General F has. Okay, seems like everyone's camping, but I have a feeling that these guys will try to attack. No, it's a real shame that he doesn't have recruits. I could have used some. Seems like he's making a third gold smelter finally. That's pretty good news. Maybe I think he can in 5 or 7 minutes he can boost up enough to start producing a bit more troops and maybe get rid of everything here in the barracks. Another thing is that okay, he's making pikes now. Doesn't seem like there's a lot of production in the iron smithies. He probably could have used of some trade. He used to trade timber to iron ore, but now he seems to have a need for coal with 15 gold mines. I mean coal mines. Whoa, pretty insane. How many buildings does it have? 7, 12. Okay. I mean 16. This is madness. But I don't know if this is needed actually. Okay, he's not trading anymore. Didn't notice that, but I think he should rather try to sell something for the iron ore again, as for mines are not enough for smithies, and he still has a lot of iron needs to be made. I don't really feel like this army is growing, to be honest. You can't say the same thing about this. You can clearly see BigBang keeps making more and more bowmen, and there's pretty nice numbers on the right side as well. Okay, but there's yeah, there's some iron troops here. This could be nice in a while, assuming the bowmen do their job. It will be crucial to see what happens to the bowmen in the upcoming fight. As we can see that the bottom team has a big advantage in there, but I think that's the time where BigBang should start moving. Actually, kind of depends on what happens here, because they can always go back here, and that's when Rinhamus is forced to get out right away, because otherwise his teammate can get crushed. Okay. I believe we're about to see some meat flying in the air pretty soon. And the plan of the top side is pretty obvious, but I'm not sure if they can do it. I think they're just gonna let themselves be attacked somehow from the bottom. Use horses on bows if possible. With along with this small group probably. Use most of the melee on the left side and kill this guy pretty quickly while trying to hold off Rinhamus for as long as possible. Trying to shoot him front and back, and that's exactly what starts happening here. We have a catch on the left side. BigBang is called, but I think the bowmen from both sides are doing pretty bad job here. I think BigBang is pretty much fucked, to be honest, because even if he's shooting with everything now, I think there's still gonna be a lot of actually, I don't know, because the right side started fighting as well right now. It looks better for Rinhamus for now. And for the BigBang here, okay, there's so many bows that okay, but the bows of I mean the melee of F will probably die as well as melee of BigBang, but on the right side Rinhamus is winning without much of a problem here. A lot of iron troops left, so the only thing that's left is for General F to get away, or well, he still has some time, so he should probably advance a little bit and try to shoot this down, but he doesn't have a lot of time. He chooses to flee. That's not a good idea probably. He should still try to get a bit more kills, but it might be hard. And given what's happening right here, right now, yeah, if he tried to hold this off a bit, maybe it would be possible for Zoltan to leave, but you can see now that the bottom team is probably going to win this. They already reached Zoltan's barracks and there's not much to be done here. I really don't understand this maneuver, by the way. I mean, it's over, so why does he keep going back? That's just cowardice, I'd say. Ah, well, pretty one-sided game, I'd say. Look at the reinforcements coming. Yeah, pretty nice performance from Rinhamus and BigBang. Of course, please remember that BigBang had a bit more difficult locations, so he can only be compared to Zoltan here, I guess, and F to Rinhamus. So yeah, congrats to BigBang, Cannabis, and Rinhamus for the first win in the tournament. I believe we can already call it a win because there's a lot of troops here and nobody said GG yet, but it's pretty evident what will happen. Can't really see F getting saved by his towers. Speaking of towers, let's take a little look at how many everyone has, because that's okay, a good number here. Could be a shame if they have more than 10. Nope. No cheaters here, so all fair and square. It seems like the bottom team will win. What? Hopefully that's a joke. Unless there's some rules I don't know about, in which case that would be pretty ridiculous. We'll see, I guess. There's nothing more satisfying than killing off enemy bows like that, I guess. Unless you catch someone's horses. Huh. Interesting. Okay, if they want to have a nice fight again. But that's kinda... that's kinda strange. Okay. I think they were confused by the line which says the final game is played best of 3 from peacetime. So uh, there's nothing about just look the rules say that the final game we play best of 3, that means x 3 times from peacetime. So yeah, that's correct, but for the final game. 3978. Yeah, that's the topic. So yeah, that's where the confusion came from. And yeah, that's not the first time I'm streaming some tournament games, so I learned to take a look at the rules at the beginning because it really helps a lot to uh, to overcome some strange stuff happening. But I believe I owe you. What did I want to click? I still owe you the stat screen, so let's start it and quit it. So yeah, oh, BigBang COVID with most troops, that's pretty interesting. I kinda expected Rinhamus to have most, but that might be because of a couple of things. Let's see. I don't think it's the recruits amount. I mean, maybe he just didn't take it out of the barracks. We could easily check that, but I'm too lazy. But you can see F and ZOLTAN didn't really stand much chance. At least looks like here. Yeah, this graph confirms that BigBang and Rinhamus had a really good start on this challenging map, and can't say much more than I wish them good luck in the tournament. Still, it's interesting to see that F was the best killer in this game. Even despite losing, he killed a lot of BigBang's troops. That's kind of expected. I mean, expected Rinhamus to be the better one from this two when it comes to fighting. But as you can see, BigBang was the better one of these two when it comes to building a base, which kind of surprised me because Rinhamus's base looked really nice at the in the peacetime. But it's a pretty similar level, I'd say. You can still see he has more weapons produced. Probably BigBang made a couple of militias as well. That's actually not too hard to check. Whoa, look at Zoltan's production. Of course, it's not exactly what matters because he didn't have a whole lot of weapons for this and no horses, but I'm digressing. I wanted to see the head axis amount. Not a lot. Only about 30 for the entire game. Okay. As you can see, there wasn't much of a chance with this massive advantage of about at the point of a fight it was I think about 80 troops advantage going off the looks of this. So it would be pretty interesting to see Zoltan and F win and it didn't happen. Okay, so I guess that's it, unless there's some new lobby. Oh, that's a fight map lobby, but it was crossed, so I was, for a second I was thinking this might be a tournament game. Speaking about tournament games, I don't think Alonso is playing in the tournament, but Simca is. I think they're just training here. Okay, I can't see anything, so I can just take a look at all the lobbies and see if there's something with the first round map, but it doesn't seem so. Okay, so I'm guessing that's it. If there's another stream, of course, I can do it today, but doesn't seem like there's a new game coming. So, like, like I said, the first game result is that BigBang and Rinhamus won. So we can report the score. Huh. Okay, let's see if it works like I think it does. Yep. So next round, Rinhamus and BigBang will play against Mexican T and Coaches 12. And while I must admit that Rinhamus and BigBang had a pretty good game today, and I normally would be pretty confident about their next games, I gotta admit that Mexican coaches are basically, well, the top dogs in this tournament. It will be a very tough fight for Rin and BigBang. They're not without a chance, but Mexi is probably one of few top players in this game, and if Coaches has a good game, then they're gonna be unstoppable probably. But this will definitely be an interesting game, and I'm really looking forward to see it. Okay, so I guess that's it. So thanks for watching. Before you quit, one more thing. I've heard that this game, Black Pearl versus Pap Zahir and Drahir. I promise to uh, get to know how to pronounce these nicknames until tomorrow. They're supposed to play tomorrow at 14 Central European Time. So I'm pretty sure I'm gonna stream this game, and anything else that happens tomorrow I'll try to stream as well. Okay, so yeah, that's it for today. Thanks guys for watching, and see you tomorrow, I guess. Bye bye.